Hi there, Ritu. Nice job. I'm really happy to see more essays from you. So let's get right into this video correction. So we can take a look at what you had to say today. Okay, traditional schooling is out of date. So let's see what you had to say about it. Education plays a vital role in the overall development of any nation, so effective teaching is extremely important. Although the is adopted by most of the countries around the world, it hinders the innate ability of children. Fortunately, there are alternatives to the conventional schooling, such as home-based education, and I strongly believe that the long-established education system has detrimental impacts on the children. Okay, I liked your introductory paragraph. It was super clear. I mean, you said that there are alternatives to conventional schooling, which is very clear, and then you also said that it has detrimental effects. So you've really directly answered both questions that are in the task, so that's nice. Okay, to begin with, homeschooling is increasing in popularity in some countries, which is based on individual needs and requirements as compared to the traditional schooling. You didn't need the before traditional. This is because some children are unable to cope with the pace of teaching in school, often struggling to understand the context-based learning. For example, studies by the U.S. government show that students who opt for homeschooling perform 75% better than pupils who attend customary schooling. Therefore, a non-traditional education method is a preferable option to boost the performance of students. Okay, lovely. So you've given an alternative here. You've talked about homeschooling. There is no doubt that the traditional way of teaching has ramifications on students. This is due to the fact that this classical approach offers the same way of teaching for every student, and those who do not learn quickly tend, without the S, to fail. Research by University of New Delhi, for instance, shows that 6 out of 10 undergraduate students in old-fashioned universities within IES dropped out of the courses compared to other modern universities. Consequently, the conventional way of teaching has adverse impacts on scholars who seek to acquire higher qualifications. Okay, let's see. Okay, now 2 things about this. It's good, it's clear, the structure is lovely, no problems. However, the essay talks about children, okay? So I don't know how appropriate it is to use an example that talks about university students, okay? You might have tried an example that was more related to children and not so much to, well, essentially they're adults. All right, but the language you use is really nice. There's a lot of nice vocabulary in this essay, so that's a very positive point. Okay, your conclusion. To conclude, while traditional schooling is approved and accepted by governments around the globe, it has some negative impacts on the students. However, homeschooling is another method which can potentially help the students to excel in academics. Okay, so this is fine. I mean, you could have just mentioned also that it potentially has negative effects on students, but it's written in a manner that's completely appropriate, and it's really fine. So, well, oops, sorry, hang on. All right, so now let's look at your task 1. Okay, it's the restaurant. Dear Sir, okay, I am writing this letter to express my awful experience with the service I received on Saturday night. Okay, not the Saturday, but Saturday night, on the occasion of my birthday dinner party. Okay, I have booked, but I booked the tables. I mentioned to the restaurant staff, that's what's missing here, or how about this? Let's try this again. How about this? When I booked the tables, I mentioned some of the preferred meal options for the day. And that really changes the sentence and I think makes it sound better. However, when we arrived at the restaurant, the reserved tables were occupied by some other people, and we had to wait for 20 minutes to get seated. Fine. Moreover, there was no vegetarian option. There were no vegetarian options, because it's plural. Or, even better, since you have this was available, you could say, because you have 2 verbs here. Look, you have was and you have was, and you can't do that. So, moreover, no vegetarian options were available that day, and that's even better. As a result of this, not which, but as a result of this, 5 of my friends, including me, had nothing to eat except rice and bread. Okay, fine. I was really annoyed and decided not to pay, but your staff said they would call the police. Therefore, to avoid further embarrassment, I finally paid for the dinner. I strongly feel that this experience was entirely unacceptable, and I would like to request a full refund. Also, I think you should talk to your staff so that, not to that, so that they provide no should, the services promised, and avoid these kinds of disappointing experiences for customers, which can be detrimental for the reputation of your restaurant. Lovely. Looking forward to a positive. Okay, now here I'm going to be kind of a nitpicker here, but I don't really like this kind of construction in a formal letter. Just write the whole sentence out without like these little elements of ellipsis. So just, I am looking forward to a positive outcome. Yours faithfully is correct, and you have your name. So good job. It was nice. I mean, there were a couple little areas that needed some work, but on the whole, they were well written. So good job. Just correct them. Send back your error corrections, your corrected essays with your error correction list. And of course your new essays. So I'll let you get to work, okay, because I know you have 2 more essays to write us in the next 24 hours. So that brings us to the end of this video correction. Well done, and good luck with your writing.